Speaking of which, I talked to Robin Leach about how his city has changed, particularly maybe when it comes to outdoor events. Look at this. What's the latest there and how it's affecting the mood? Forget about making casinos go through luggage and magnetometers, all of that.
You know, look, Neil, it's far too early for them to be coming up with hard and concrete plans, but I don't think you're going to see another concert in those festival grounds. I don't think you're going to see live events happening on the Strip. This whole business of tall buildings that face openly onto large public gatherings, not just here in Las Vegas, by the way, but in other cities across America. This is a flaw in security.
A flaw in security to Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association President Steve Loomis on whether these type of outdoor venues are soft targets, maybe too risky as a result. What do you think of that, Steve?
Well, I respectfully disagree. These events are soft targets, but I don't think the American people are going to live in fear. And I think the concerts are and should continue. And these large events here in Cleveland, we have the playoff game. Sure. We're going to cancel the playoff games here because it's a large gathering of people? Absolutely not.
But what we're going to do is they're screened pretty thoroughly going into that stadium, right?
Well, it's not going into the stadium. There's all those people around the stadium as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think that we need to take a step back. We need to wait for this investigation to be completed, and then we're going to look very carefully at the lessons to be learned. And there are lessons that are going to come out of this, and you know, overwatches, maybe increased security. On high ground, we practice that here in the major cities already. Fast alert teams that are standing by, ready to go in a moment's notice. You know, those are things that are already in place. But I don't think the American people are going to allow themselves to be living in fear, and they will go to those concerts, and they'll continue to go to those concerts.
You know what I worry about, though, Steve, is that it's an understandable reaction, but it tends to be an overreaction. I do remember with the shoe bomber, soon after that, everyone had to take off their shoes. Someone else had a liquid. Of course, they then monitored how many liquids you took on board, you know, a laptop, and then they started questioning electronic devices, and on we go. And I understand the impetus behind this and to rein it in, but that is until the next attack that has another creative wrinkle to it. There's only so much you can do, right?
Yeah, what we can, you can't plan for crazy. You can't defend against crazy, and that's exactly what we're dealing with here in Orlando and other places, other tragedies that we've had in this country and across the world. You can't plan for that. What you can do is you can get the best intelligence network going as possible and stop it before it occurs. Certainly if you're just Joe Blow citizen out there and you see something that's odd to you, report it, and I guarantee the local police are going to get it to the right people, and it will be investigated. See something, say something. You know, that applies here. And then we train to respond very, very rapidly to these things, and that's exactly what happened in Las Vegas. An 11 or 12-minute response time, given the magnitude and of the size of the building and the size of the area, was just miraculous. That they responded
No, I understand that, but he was shooting for 11 to 12 minutes, too, and did a lot of this damage. And then it was an hour before they got, and believe me, I'm not criticizing about it. You're in the world of the unknown here, and then they want to protect the possibility of a bomb going off, et cetera. But he did a lot of damage in that 10 to 12 minutes. So I guess going forward, what is your advice to either hotels, casinos, us as patrons? I know in New York they always say if you see something, say something, and I always like to add in this city, almost anything I see would warrant saying something, but what's your advice?
Well, you know, I think it's important to point out that he stopped fighting and took his own life because he knew that the security guards and the police were very, very close proximity to him. You know, he could have kept going for much longer amount of time if nobody came down that hallway. My advice is, look for abnormalities. Look for, you know, if somebody's carrying in 12, you know, pieces of luggage for a weekend, that's something that needs to be looked at and you know, flagged.
But he did it in waves, we're told, so that wouldn't be as obvious, I guess. You know?
Say again?
He did it in waves. He made multiple trips. So.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. You cannot defend against crazy, and the citizens of this country are not going to respond well to you know, metal detectors and being patted down before they go on vacation to a hotel. You know, so we have to do our due diligence with the intelligence gathering and dissemination across federal, state, and local law enforcement and intelligence gathering agencies, and the local police. And keep in mind, it's usually the patrol guy that is the first guy on scene. We have SWAT units. We have highly trained police officers in every major city in the country, but it's usually the first responder, the basic patrol guy, that has to deal with this situation, and they're trained to think on their feet and react very, very quickly. And in all these cases, Orlando, here we had Success Tech here in Cleveland. That was basic patrol guys that went up and provided pressure against that active shooter that allowed them to get him to draw their attention away from what he was doing to possibly saving his own life or taking his own life in this case. So,
yeah, they didn't wait for SWAT in that case, you know?
No, they don't. Yeah. They don't wait for SWAT. We're trained not to anymore. You know, just for this purpose. If you have to wait for a SWAT team to mount up, to get their equipment on and get to where they need to be, that could be 15 to 20 minutes. Here in Cleveland, in a good case scenario, there's a lot of damage that's going to happen. Yeah, you don't have that amount of time, and the men and women of the police departments are out there. I guarantee you, every first responder that heard those shots was thinking of a way to either protect people, help injured people, or get that guy to stop shooting. I guarantee you that, and that's exactly what they did. They got up there very quickly, and they saved countless lives.
Oh, man, it could have been a lot worse. To your point, Steve Loomis, Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association in Cleveland. Thank you very, very much.